What's up, guys? It's time to inspect another set of eBay heads. So here's the deal. I already bought two sets of these heads off eBay. The OG set and the 2.0 set. So this is my third set, and we'll call this set 3.0. Now, the reason I bought this set is because I'm kind of tied right now. You know, I got one good set and one bad set. Well, one flawed set. It's not bad, just they can be fixed. They're flawed. And this set will be the tiebreaker. To see, what is the majority an average person would get. Because, well, I guess technically I didn't buy the first set myself off eBay. So, anyways, moving on. This set will be the tiebreaker. And they pop up every once in a while. And they popped up a little bit ago for me. And it wasn't a convenient time. I just bought them. They've been sitting around. But that was about a month ago. Almost 30 days ago. So I need to get them inspected and either returned if they're flawed or, checked and approved so that I can just, let them sit. I still got, stuff I want to deal with on these, the OG and the 2.0 sets. So, like I said, I got, well, plus I got a behind you over here. I got the still finish up the Dart 2s. I'm supposed to be doing that video right now, but as I said, my 30 days is about to expire. So I need to get moving on checking out these heads and either, see if they're good or bad and return them. Now, I've already covered in my previous videos the OG and 2.0 set how I inspect heads, and I'm not going to do that this video. I'm not going to go through that again. I've also gone through a gauntlet of gaskets, and we're not going to do that again either. So basically, what the plan is tonight and probably earlier tomorrow, I'm going to inspect these two heads. I mean, I haven't even opened up the second one yet. It's still sealed in the box. A little bit of shipping damage, but they package these things up pretty good. And also want to note, these are DNA boxes, DNA Motorsports, the same as the OG set. So they should have the longer Vortec style ports. I'd show you over here, but they're all taped up on that side, and I haven't cut them out. Anyways, the longer style Vortec ports, so they're more like the OG set and not so much like the 2.0 set. I mean, they're still pretty similar. So what I want to do is I'm going to inspect these heads, and then I'll get back to you with my results, and then maybe we'll compare them to the OG and 2.0 sets. See if we see any minor differences, because I mean, every time I look at the heads, I find something a little different. Like, for example, it's not really super important, but the chamfer on the cooling port adapter is a little better than on the 2.0 set. You can see there's this Harley chamfer. Same with even the accessory bolts, I believe. There's just a little better chamfer. So I mean, each set is going to have their differences, because I mean, who knows where they're all machined or what day they're machined on by who and so on. I mean, it could have been a new machine, an old machine, and I'm rambling on. Anyways, I'm going to get to inspecting these heads. Meanwhile, the next clip is going to be me actually finding a slight issue with the OG set of heads, because I 100% checked these heads out, but this one I just kind of did a few checks and I skipped a few things. So you'll see that right here, right now. I'm out in the workshop working on the OG heads, starting to clean up the chambers, and I just ran into a slight issue, so I figured I'd run in and grab the camera and show you guys. This is why you got to check out your heads good. Now, honestly, when I did the OG heads, I didn't check all the spark plug threads. I just, checked the one. It was like, oh, the plug looks good. When I did the 2.0 heads, I checked them all. So I went to throw my dummy plugs in there because I'm going to work on cleaning up the chambers. And this one went in fine. That one went in fine. I skipped this one because of my hand, because of the wood thing. This one only went in a couple threads. I was like, oh crap. So I went and grabbed another plug. Still wouldn't go in. I'm like, okay. So I went and grabbed my chaser right here, which has, the notches for, cleaning the debris out of there. And I actually got a bunch of stuff. I already brushed it off and cleaned it off, because I have a problem with this one too. So this one goes in about 3/4 of the way. I mean, it's not big. I mean, I looked in there. I can't really see the actual flaw So I don't know where it's actually catching. It's just you know, maybe it's the tip of the thread didn't cut it good enough, or they didn't run the tap deep enough. I don't know. All I know is to fix the last one, I just pretty much had to thread my chaser, and just like I'm doing right now, run it down by finger, and it was good enough to take that little bit of burr or whatever the freak was out of there. And of course, you know, I hit it with air trying to knock anything out of there, but let's see, it's getting tight now. We're getting there. And we're not quite all the way yet. We're going, still going. If it was really hard, I go grab a wrench, and we just bottomed out. So I'm going to back this out of there carefully so it doesn't grab and take out a bunch of threads with it. Work it back and forth. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Okay. Let's hit it with a little bit of air and see if we can get it. Okay, this is going to spike my mic, definitely. Actually, I'm going to close my shutter because I don't want to get this on my lens. One sec. There we go. And we're back. Let's see if we get it going. Work it a little bit. Come on, baby. You can do this. Give it a little more air. Be right back. Okay. There we go. I don't want to gack up those threads being, you know, soft aluminum head. You can already see a little bit of debris right there. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. It's not a ton, but it's there. Anyways, let's blow it out and try out the plug. I think we should be good. I'll go back. Okay. Where's the plug at? Right there. And the plug's clean. My hands aren't though. Normally I glove up because the holding that grinder is hard on your hands. And here we go. Are we good? I would say not quite. A little bit more. We'll blow them out again, run it down again. But you guys don't need to see me do that again, so there it is. You got to check out your junk. Literally, eBay junk. Anyways, I'm going to get back to work. I'll throw this clip in when I make the 3.0 video. See you then. Well, the inspection of the 3.0 heads is complete. And they passed mostly. You see, I did find an issue, but first off, I didn't find any problems with the machining. Everything I checked in the machining for the methods I used to check the machining passed. We're good on that. But I kind of feel a little embarrassed because I missed this in my overall visual inspection of the first set I opened up, you know, almost 30 days ago. I just opened it up, looked it over, and I went, yeah, it looks good, you know. No. You see, I did notice there was some damage to the foam. And I'm like, well, it did its job. It took the, you know, it took the brunt. And you can see it's all broken up on that side, it's broken up on that side, and even on the box right here, it appears to, you know, poke through some. So the result was the valve cover rail took a hit. You see right there, it's got a little bit raised, and now you could flatten that out and it'd still seal pretty good, I think. You know, I'll have to check out the straight edge. It's, you know, valve covers aren't necessarily a, you know, a perfect, you know, bit kind of deal. You know, I use a quart gasket. It's thick enough that it'll take up a little bit of, you know, unevenness or whatever. here's the most glaring defect. You can see right here. The impact was hard enough, it actually cracked the head. So, now that is still in the, valve train area, and it didn't appear to go all the way through. I mean, I can stick the light on the other side, and we don't see light. But a crack can grow. So, if left alone, it could go all the way through and become, someday an oil leak. So it'd have to be ground out technically to be fixed properly, and then, TIG welded up, which, it's far enough away from the deck. I wouldn't worry about resurfacing the deck. I would just, weld it and be good probably. I mean, there's probably other methods of, repair. It's far enough away from anything important. I think, it's not close enough, I don't think, to, the water port or nothing. That I think we'll be good. But it is worth contacting the eBay merchant and seeing what they want to do. I checked the other day and I don't think there's any other heads, so they can't exchange it out. So probably the only option is, partial refund or complete return of the head. Now I can return just one and keep the other for a spare, or I can return them both. But I don't know. I mean, that's something I'm going to have to sleep on. And let's move on to, the overall assessment of what I checked. Okay. The valve patterns, I checked, we passed all the valve seat checks, unlike the first set of, the OG heads. And the intakes look pretty good. The exhausts look a little high, but they're, they're good enough. These are budget heads. They're not going to be perfect. You're going to have, you're going to have slight, variances and so on. I mean, just same thing with the castings. I mean, if you look at the ports, the intakes actually, one second, let me set this over here real quick. We're going to go to the, almost lost my camera there. Stay. We're going to go to the headstand here real quick so I can give you a better view. Okay. So, the intake ports look pretty good. I mean, we're talking, a little bit of blending, not bad. I mean, they're pretty decent, I think. It changes, varies, cylinder to cylinder. Of course, drop my flashlight. Get back here. Get over here. But the exhaust ports are looking pretty nasty. I mean, look at that. Ugh. This is the worst. These are the worst exhaust ports out of the 3 sets. I mean, it's just the end ones that are pretty bad. So there was a little bit of core damage or whatever when before they cast the head. Intake ports on this one look probably maybe the cleanest. And what else? Chambers look pretty consistent. I noticed when I started cleaning up the OG head, the chambers are inconsistent, and we'll get to that someday, but that's other video. Anyways, oh, another thing I noticed, other than the bowl areas, is on the runners, get my light again, there's a bit of a crack or core, I don't know, line in one port on each of the heads. Like it's on this port, and on the other head it's this inside port. So it's not a big issue. It doesn't go back very far. It's not super wide, and I think it's just you wouldn't want to chase it all the way down. You just go over it. It should be fine. It's not really into the gasket seal line. We'll be good. So there it is. So far. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go message the merchant, see what they have to say. I don't know when they're going to get back to me. I plan to wrap up this video possibly tonight, but now that we found this possible issue, I might have to wait. But I got to get back to work and finish up the dart head video because I want to actually upload that video before I finish and upload this video because, why not? I want to keep things in order. I don't know. Anyways. See you in a minute. Okay, I messaged the merchant, so hopefully he'll get back to me by tomorrow when I plan on wrapping this video up. But now, it's time for a quick comparison. I went ahead and pulled out one of each of the untouched OG and 2.0 heads. So we got OG 2.0, 3.0. Over there I got one of the OGs and 2.0, but I've already started messing with them, so they're disqualified for this comparison. Anyways, there's not much difference. I compared those two, and I believe in the 2.0 video, and the 3.0 is pretty dang close to the OG head. I mean, like I said, there's moderate differences in casting. That just goes with any head. I mean, any manufacturer, you're going to get a slight variance in casting defects and quality. The main difference is, once again, the Vortec style, narrow at the top ports, versus the 2.0 is more square ports. The OG is, the Vortec, and also, of course, the bolt pattern. The OG and the 3.0 are missing that 8 bolt Vortec bolt pattern. They have just the 12 bolt. Whereas the 2.0 has both bolt patterns. And one last thing is, of course, the machining on the intake flange by the valve cover rail. Only the 2.0 has it. Neither the 3.0 or the OG has that, so you might have to trim your gasket. So, I mean, this is the most differences on the intake side. Everything else is pretty close. I mean, chambers look pretty much the same. Although the OG chambers, the quality is a little down. But once again, that's casting differences. I mean, the casting quality of the other heads appear to be better. But once again, it's just how it goes. With all casting types, there's going to be slight variances. Some worse than others. Back to the heads. So, I went ahead and also decided to install the same intake and exhaust valve in one cylinder on each head and measure the valve spring install height. And these are standard length valves. Just one groove for the exhaust and 2 grooves for the intake. When I use the top groove, of course. I used a Beehive Proform height tool. There's the part number and such. Right there's the tool. I used a Beehive retainer, tool steel comp cams, and 2 standard, just basic OEM GM locks. Same thing on every head, same cylinder, same valves. So here are the results. If you want to pause and read them real quick, I'm not going to read them out for you because the video is already getting longer than I planned. Okay, now you've had a chance to pause if you want. I'm going to mention a few other things. I point out right there with an asterisk because the OG set, the exhaust are machined, the seats are machined improper. So once those are all machined, that size will actually increase. So it's already, the mid-range. And I also want to point out too that the minuses and the pluses are when it was really close, and I just, it was a little under, a little over. So, I'm not going to get down to, 1, 2, 3, and 4s. We're just 0 and 5. Now, this spring install height could vary. I've had it vary on several heads before, from one side of the head to the other, or just every other, this one cylinder will be a little different. So I'm not going to check them all, because that would be, I'll check them when I actually use a set, both heads, but I'm not going to check 6 heads right now. So this is just a rough, guesstimate, guide, whatever you want to call it, where they should be roughly. They're all, pretty close, not a huge variance. I wouldn't expect it to be different too much cylinder to cylinder and so on. But another note I made over here, for the valve springs I want to use, because of the locator I'm going to use, right over here, comp cams, maybe I'll throw up the part number here or something. Because of the thickness of the locator, I'm going to need probably 100 long valves to use the valve springs I want to use. Now, they may change by the time I actually use the heads and assemble them, or it may not be the same for all, all 2 or 3 sets. I just don't know if I'm going to end up with that set or not. We'll see. So, there's some information for you guys. You decide to purchase a set of these heads and set them up and so on. Like I said earlier, you got to check, ideally you would check every cylinder, all 8 cylinders, all, 16 valves, and shim as needed. So, I'm going to call it a night. Well, actually, I'm going to take a break, work on these dart heads a little bit, then I'll call it a night, and tomorrow, hopefully, I can wrap this video after the merchant has gotten back with me. Oops, I forgot to mention one more thing. I dug out one of the OG boxes so you guys can see for yourselves. See right there? DNA. DNA. Only difference is this sticker's a little smaller, that one's a little larger. They both have the yellow bags right there and there. This is the 3.0 head, OG head. So, the 2.0 head boxes were brown and, a little smaller. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm going to put these things away and get some work done. Time to wrap things up. I've got a couple more things I want to point out, but before I get to that, I want to mention also, the merchant did get back with me last night, and they offered me, of course, the full refund because of the 30 days, or a partial refund of $30 because the one head was damaged. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, 30 bucks isn't much, and it's like, when I bought the heads, like I said, the main reason I got them was to break the tie. And I feel I've done that, broke the tie. Now I can say I am, 1 bad, 2 good. Mostly. So, I mean, I don't really have plans for the 3rd set. And I always figured, well, if they're bad, I send them back. If they're good, I could sell them for, no loss or a very slight loss. Now that they have this issue, you guys know how things go. People are tire kickers and so on. So it's like, I'm not even going to bother probably trying to sell them. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. I messaged them back seeing if they could do a little better. I'm not going to wait around for the reply to finish up this video. So if you want to know more, I'm going to finish up the dart video, then post this video. So you can go ahead and ask me in the comments and see if they, see how it turned out. Anyways, let's get to the couple things I want to show you. Okay. First thing is I was setting up for my thumbnail and I completely forgot. I wanted to point out that the OG head finish was, not perfect. I mean, it is nowhere near the Pro Comp video I made about finishing. I'll link that here so you can check that out if you want. But it's, it's not perfect. I mean, I can't feel that, can't catch my nail on it. It's not as nice and shiny as the 2.0 or even the 3.0. So they've improved, because they're both, DNA, and I don't know, I can't remember the merchant for that one, but so the 2 DNA ones, the newer one, they've improved on their deck finish, so that's good. Still, I would have no problem running that deck finish. Maybe I wouldn't run an MLS or nothing like that, but I'd run it with most okay gaskets. So, moving on, the second thing I want to point out was the throats. I went ahead and measured one, and after I measured, I stuck it in all the rest, and I stuck it in the OG as well as the 2.0 head. And the exhaust ports on the 3.0 set are a little smaller, a little tighter. They're about 84%. If you want to calculate that out, there it is. 1.349, and the intake is 1.804. So it's 84%. And I can't remember what the other intakes were. I remember the exhaust in there too were 85-ish. So just a little tighter on the exhaust noticeably. When I compare it to the intakes, I want to say the 2.0 was maybe a little tighter and the OG was about pretty much the same. I can't remember though. But there it is for the 3.0. If you want to know the other sets, I believe they're in the 2.0 video, so check that out. So there it is. Problems aside, they check out good. So like I said, 2 for the win so far, mostly. If I do keep the heads, some have suggested I should just epoxy it up. Probably. I mean, there's that like aluminum brazing stuff. They call it aluminum welding. It's like a brazing. You use like MAP gas, and I might give that a try. I mean, it's like I said, the crack didn't go all the way through, but to prevent future possible issues, I would put it on the front of the engine. So that head would have to be, I believe, passenger front for the crack. So that way there's access to it if there's a future problem and I have to do a future repair. But, I mean, there it is. You guys can make your own decision. I think I've covered everything. Well, we'll wrap this up. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Keep it real.